All right. Not exactly been looking forward to this part of the game. But we're on our own. Oh, jeez. I forgot you were that low on health. No, 100 should be fine. And that's a blessing stone for healing that we don't really need right now. But now we gotta find everyone else. Uh-oh. Alright. Translation time. Of all the things I got ready, I forgot to prep this part. Whoops. Let's see. So in the English version, Kururugi says, "Oh no, I'm surrounded." According to the translation here, Kururugi instead is saying, "You've got to be kidding me. I'm surrounded." Let's see, and from here, according to the translation, Kururugi saying, "Don't come, please. I don't want to fight." In the English version, Kururugi instead says, "Stay away, please. I don't want to fight you." So the translation's fine. I just do think I'd switch the "don't come" to "stay away, please. I don't want to fight." It does essentially come out to the same as what the English version has, but in the English version, they are having Kururugi like yell out their pleading. Sorry, because same thing as if you're playing as Kagome, the girl, but just with the ellipses, it's very much Kururugi is much more hesitant. Kururugi really does not want to fight them if they can help it. But let's see the translation from here. Okay, that's a little interesting. According to the translation, Kururugi is saying, why? But in the English version, Kururugi instead says, huh? What? So, it does feel like another context difference. In the English version, they're trying to give across that Kururugi's being surprised at what's happening, because wait, I should be by myself right now. So who's attacking these zombie samurai? But from the Japanese version, if the translation is accurate of why, then the surprise here is, why is someone attacking them? That's what Jokin sounds like in Japanese? Wow. No, that's definitely different from his English voice. Holy shit. Let's see. From here, Jokin's translation is, you're in the way, boy. Move. Which the English version had him instead say, boy, you're in the way. Move. Which, just slightly reworded, but same thing. I'm still just taken off guard by the voice. Let's see. Because if there's Jockin, so in the English version, Kururugi's dialogue here is, what just happened? Which makes sense. This guy just walks through, cuts down the zombie samurai, and leaves. So it's like, I'm sorry, what? According to the translation, Kururugi's asking, what on earth was that? Oh, okay, so this is inner thought dialogue. In the English version, they had Kururugi say, but they were the ones that helped me. I did not expect this to have been inner thought dialogue. I thought it was Kururugi talking to himself. Because there's no one else around, so whether or not Kururugi talks to himself doesn't really matter. According to the translation, Kururugi's thoughts are, these are the people who helped me. At least according to the Google Translate result, the Deep L translation result is, they're the ones who helped me. This leads into something a little interesting to me, honestly, because you could see this as one of two ways. Kururugi is either talking about Sashomaru, who just suddenly showed up and essentially saved them from the situation, or Kururugi is referring to the samurai who had previously helped them. So, but, well, that's another fight to count. Boy, am I glad I have the Mystic Charm on Kururugi here. Because if one of the guys here was supposed to have an instant kill move, I'd be in trouble. Okay, I'm gonna heal off that one because that was a crit. If that wasn't a crit, I'd definitely take a swing. I'm a little curious here. Because I know this does damage based on the amount of damage I've received, but if I heal that damage, does it reverse anything? Because otherwise, this is a fantastic move to use when Kururugi's on their own, because they can just take a beating and just absolutely obliterate someone by taking a bunch of damage. Oh! Healing does not counteract how it works. Perfect. So this is a technique that just keeps growing stronger the more damage Kururugi takes. Healing the damage doesn't reverse it. So it's just infinitely growing power. Oh, that's good. This should be stronger. So I did take a little bit of damage. Oh, yeah. No, that is increasing damage. Or wait, no, I used a normal attack on that instead, didn't I? Whoops. Yeah, I think I did. Whoops. Okay. Well, I think I just proved my own theory wrong. Oh boy. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, I need to kill one off. This is what I get for fooling around. This is absolutely on me. Yeah. That's on me. And what's this one? According to this, the translation is, oh, it was quite difficult. That would make sense. You took a fair bit of damage. Nothing in here to get. Stairs and... Alright, where's the... Here we go. Let's see if I can get it to where it needs to be. Alright, here we go. According to the translation, Kururugi's inner thoughts here are... weirdly translated, according to Google Translate. Google Translate's result is, oh, that's from earlier. Deep L Translate's result isn't much better with, oh, that was just now. The English version instead had Kururugi say, hey, it's that guy again? I do think the translation should be, oh, it's that person from before. Okay, no, that's interesting. That is very interesting. between the English and Japanese version. Jokin very clearly said Sashomaru-sama, which, for the English dub of the anime, they had that as Lord Sashomaru. Sama as a suffix can mean lord, lady, master, or in some cases, sir. It's a very high-standing suffix honorific. In the English version of the game, though... Oh, hello. Rika Nipa, thank you for the follow. And thank you for coming to my stream. I hope you enjoy, Lord Sashomaru. Yeah, so the English version never refers to him as Lord Sashomaru, whether by Jokin or by Rin later on. They simply call him Sashomaru. The English version completely dunks on this loser. Oh, weird. Yeah, no. The English version has a lot of problems. A lot of mistranslation problems being one of them. So, according to the translation, Jokin is saying, I will search for the way out now, so please wait just a moment, Sashomaru-sama. In the English version, he says, just a moment, Sashomaru, I'm looking for the road now. Considering the time period it came out. The really weird thing is, this game came out in 2004. The English dub of the anime was already near the end of Season 3. And I will praise the English dub of the anime. It is really stellar for the first 6 seasons. Final Act I have not seen. I have nothing to say about the Final Act. I refuse to watch it, honestly. So, it is very weird that their choice with localizing this game is so bad. Okay, so that's what he sounds like in Japanese. Honestly, yeah, no, David K did a really good job with his voice for Sashomaru. Like, the English voice sounds really close. Let's see. In the English version, Sashomaru's response is... If I can get to it. There we go. In the English version, Sashomaru's response is, don't tell me you've forgotten where the road is. While, according to the translation I have, Sashomaru is saying, don't tell me you've forgotten the way. I do think that can be reworded a little bit. I'm just gonna see if I can section off for a tweak. He sure did. Okay, so they bring up the Japanese word for Michi again, which I mentioned in the last stream. It can be translated as road, path, way, or some other variant. For whatever reason, the English version decided to translate Michi as road, which, for this area, makes no sense, because we are inside of a castle. What road is there inside the castle? So the English version having Sashomaru say, don't tell me you've forgotten where the road is, makes no sense. For the translation, I do think a better rewording, if I could bring it back up again, should be, don't tell me you've forgotten the path, or you've lost the path. Either of those makes much more sense. And then that's Jokin being taken off guard, like, oh, I messed up. Alright, here. Okay, I need to try this again. Translator is acting weird. Alright, here we go. That's better. So the doki is just a sound effect of shock, like, oh, I've been found out, but I don't want him to know. Can I bring up the English version again? Come on. Okay. In the English version, Jockin's response is, no, of course not. According to the translation, aside from the doki, the translation comes out as, no, not at all.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see. Oh, okay, this translation's getting a little weird. Okay. In the English version, Jockin follows up with a hesitant, because he can't give a proper response to Sesshomaru, like, I am lost, but I can't tell him that, because he might kill me! The translation from here is Jockin saying, no, following up on the, no, none at all, I haven't lost the way, so Shomu just walks away anyway. Oh boy. Let's see. Oh! Hold on! I don't remember this! I don't remember Kururugi saying something the moment they enter the room. Wait a sec, while I, get the English version to where it should be. So I can compare. Come on. Sorry for the delay. Okay. Oh, no. So, the English version does have something. The moment Kururugi walks into the room, in the English version, it says, excuse me, but here, I very much, I can't really play it back because I don't really have the means to. But it sounded like Kururugi was a little annoyed, I think? Yeah, no. Oh, from the translation, it actually sounds like Kururugi's angry. Yeah, no. Because given what happened just a little bit ago, that makes sense. One sec. I need to double check this. Okay. Okay, let's check these translations. Okay, from Google Translate, the translation for Kururugi's dialogue here is, hey, just now. While the DeepL translators is, hey, earlier. Very much suggesting that Kururugi's trying to get onto Shomuru's ass for killing the zombie samurai from earlier. Which again, makes sense. Kururugi was very hesitant about killing them, or fighting them in general, because those samurai helped them the last time they were in the castle, and ended up dying as a result. So Shomaru just walks along and cuts them down. So Kururugi being angry here would make sense. It's like, I don't know who you are, but what the fuck are you doing? Let's see. The translation here... Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, no, that is an interesting translation compared to the English version. According to the translation, Jockin is saying, you. That's right, kid, come here. In the English version, Jockin says, you are? Oh yeah, boy, come over here. The English version having Jockin start with, you are, as a question, has always been really weird to me. Because all Kururugi did as soon as entering the room in the English version was say, excuse me, so why is Jockin starting with, you are? So the translation of, like, Jockin catching the attention of Kururugi, being like, you. That's right, come here. Let's see. Let's see what the English version did. Okay. In the English version, Jockin asks, do you know the way to the castle tower? Well, according to the translation... can I get one better? Okay, not really, but I do think I can reword this to fix it up a little. According to the translation, Jockin is saying, you know the way to the castle tower. I do think that first you can be replaced with, tell me, do you know the way to the castle tower? And end up a lot better. And now, of course, Kururugi being completely confused, like, what is going on? According to the translation, Kururugi says, yes, I know, but... Well, in the English version, Kururugi says, I do, but... let's see... And then from Jockin, the translation comes out as, then guide us there. In the English version, instead, Jockin says, then take me there. The Japanese version being, then guide us there, makes a bit more sense. Because the English version is giving the impression that Jockin only wants Kururugi to lead him to the castle tower. Nothing about Sesshomaru. Saying guide us is take both of us there. So, yeah, no, the translation came out a lot better. Let's see. Ooh. Yeah, no, Kururugi's getting confrontational here. This was either not present or very toned down in the English version. According to the translation... let's see. The other one fix it up a little. Okay. So it does come out a little weird, but I guess it still works. According to the translation, Kururugi saying, why should I have to show you the way? While in the English version, Kururugi asks, why do I have to take you there? But again, English version very much loses the confrontational tone that the Japanese version has. And especially with the Japanese version, at least if you look at the text, there's an exclamation mark. For whatever reason, the translation doesn't have that, and instead has a question mark. But it... Oh, actually... Hold on. I'm gonna try and section this and see... what this is, because it definitely feels like it's missing something. Okay. No, it's not really giving anything, so... Yeah, sure. Sure, I guess. The translation being, why should I have to show you the way? But, again, the exclamation mark from the Japanese text very much is giving a sense that Kururugi's being confrontational, because Kururugi is trying to, whenever you switch the expression on your avatar, at the start of the stream, because I am not a fan of this section of the game. Aldenix, this is the why I asked you to, if you could put this together. Because I knew this section was coming up. I was not looking forward to it, but I was like, I really want to show my disapproval. So hey, thanks for putting this together. Yeah, no, the Japanese version very much is trying to make Kururugi confrontational because of what I said before. Sesshomaru killed the corpses of the samurai that had previously helped Kururugi in the group, and Kururugi was very hesitant to fight them. Let's see. From Jokin, the translation is, I don't know why you're wandering around a place like this, but... While the English version has him instead say, I don't know what you're doing around here. Okay, Jokin specifies bakemono, not yokai. So the translation should end up a little different. Yeah, okay. The translation for Jokin continues with, if you go alone, you'll end up getting eaten by monsters. But the English version has Jokin say, but you'll get eaten by demons if you stay here by yourself. Which is interesting that the English version would go with this, because bakemono isn't exactly a word for demons. It's mostly monsters and ghosts. For yokai, it is closer to what the English would pull to demons. So since there was no mention of yokai from Jokin, it's weird that the English version says demons. I thought you would have been the side quest part where you'd use it, though. What side quest part? Oh, you mean getting the people that are hiding in the tower? I already did that. That wasn't a problem. Finding the people lost in the castle is tedious, but it is optional, and you only need to do it once. Because once you get the 2 rewards from it, and then get the event from those rewards, you never need to touch the side quest ever again on the memory card. This, however, is mandatory for every playthrough, and I do not look forward to it at all. See, Kururugi's response is, that's... Which, I mean, story-wise, technically, Jokin's not wrong. Kururugi's not exactly experienced at fighting, and even using their power, they're not exactly that confident in it. So story-wise, makes sense. Kururugi would still be worried about running into anything to fight. And possibly getting eaten. But gameplay-wise, Kururugi is more than strong enough to handle this place by themselves, whether you're playing as the boy or the girl. Sesshomaru is completely useless here. There is no reason for him to be here. Alright, inner thought dialogue. Makes sense, given the scene. Kururugi's inner thoughts here is... interesting. Let's see. How does this turn out? Alright, English version. Let's pull this for context. So, in the English version, Kururugi's inner thoughts are, I really don't want to go with these people. which makes sense. He doesn't, Kururugi doesn't know them. And again, they just, no restraint, killed people who had previously helped Kururugi and the others. So it's like, I don't know these people, I don't trust these people. But they kinda have, but this little imp kinda has a point. The translation does kind of a little bit of weird. It does kind of a little bit weird. According to the translation, verbatim, it says, "With people like this, I don't want to go with you." Reworded, it should be, "I really don't want to go with people like these two." Or with people like them.
でも確かに一人で行くのは無理みたいだし。
And the translation continues with, "But it seems impossible to go alone." While the English version continues with, "But it's probably not a good idea to go on my own." Saying that it's impossible to go alone, I would say it's a stretch. Let's see. The Deep L translator comes out pretty much the same as the Google Translate result. I would reword it. Definitely not to match the English version in this case, but probably to something like, it might prove difficult continuing by myself or continuing alone.
それに僕が行かないとみんなも困るからな。
And then this one ends off with, "Besides, if I don't go, everyone else will be in trouble." While in the English version, Kururugi finishes with, "And if I don't go, what is going to happen? What is everybody else going to do?" I mean, for both versions, you could see this as Kururugi thinking of themselves a little too highly, but the thing with Kururugi is they have very low self-confidence. Kururugi's line of thought here is, if I don't go with these two and ensure I get to the others, the others are probably going to panic and try looking for me and likely end up in trouble. So that's very likely what they're trying to imply here. Oh, hold on.
さあ、分かったらとっとと案内せんか。
And then that's Jockin getting a little annoyed because we're taking so long to respond. According to the translation, saying, "Now, if you understand, please show me around." I do think that needs to be reworded. Probably to show us around. In the English version, Jockin says, "So, are you going to take us there or what?"
仕方ないか。
Kururugi's inner thoughts here, according to the translation, come out as, "Can't be helped." While in the English version, the English version went with, "I guess I have to."
分かったよ。案内するよ。
Okay, something else. Kururugi turning into a PNG tuber is great, not gonna lie. The thing is, this isn't my usual PNG tuber avatar. I only had Aldenix put this together just because I was going through this game. Because I decided on something stupid. Where every March for the Japanese 20th anniversary, I would play through the English version of the game on a route. And then in November, for the North American anniversary, I'll play through the same route on the Japanese version to compare the English version's script with the translation of the Japanese version script to see where the English version screwed up, and surprisingly, where the English version made improvements. Because as few as there have been points in the script where the English version has turned out better than what the translations come out. Most of the time, though, the translations have turned out better, but also revealed that the English version not only completely changed tone and context, but even just completely changed the dialogue of a scene to something else entirely. Let's see. Kururugi. So from the tone, Kururugi is very reluctantly agreeing. That was very evident in the tone of Kururugi's voice. That sadly is not present in the English version. In the English version, Kururugi simply says, "Okay, I'll take you there." But from the translation and given Kururugi's tone when he said it, is, "Okay, I'll show you around." Alright. From Jokin, the translation says, "Lord Sesshomaru, there was a slight mistake, but I'm fine now." In the English version, Jokin says, "Sesshomaru, I was a little confused there, but everything is okay now." Just double checking the other translator just in case. Okay, no difference there.
そうか。では案内しろ。
From Sesshomaru. Okay, interesting. From Sesshomaru, the translation comes out as, "I see. Well, show me around." In the English version, Sesshomaru says, "Is that right? Lead the way." I actually do think I could borrow a little bit from the English version, and improve the translation slightly to, "I see. Well, lead the way." So, now we have Sesshomaru as a party member. The only time in the game in which that will happen, unless you're specifically on his route. But you can't get his route unless you've already beaten the game at least once before. And you have the clear save data. So, you might notice already from the HP differences. Kururugi is currently level 25. Sesshomaru is level 30. With 777 HP, 250 in attack, defense, mental, and spirit, and 28 speed. His stats are capped. Like, actually, his stats cannot go any higher. Even if you give him equips. I actually haven't really tried. But I don't know if you give him any equips, if it causes an overflow and makes him pathetically weak. I wouldn't put it past this game, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case. So, at level 30, none of the other characters will ever come anywhere near these stats. InuYasha is the closest who can get to half of Sesshomaru's attack. In fact, InuYasha currently at level 25 has more than half of Sesshomaru's attack. The speed, Sesshomaru's speed being 28, anyone can get that. You can get that easily from equips. For the rest of the stats, no one's going to get anywhere close to that. But here's the thing. Those stats are lying. So the attack stat should be the amount of damage that a character can do. The defense is how much damage they can resist. Speed is how quickly they go around the turn dial. Mental is how consistent their damage is. And spirit is how much they can resist special attacks and how quickly they can generate energy for their own special attacks. The only stats for Sesshomaru that are at all accurate are his HP, of course, his defense, and his spirit, because he can generate energy like nobody's business. The amount of damage he does, though, not exactly accurate. Also, just in general, don't equip him with anything, because once he leaves your party, whatever he has on him is gone. Let's test this sucker out, huh? Since he's not staying for long, may as well show off what he can do. This is also why Sesshomaru is completely unnecessary. You don't run into enough enemies for his presence to matter. No, that's run away. I don't need that. I need to defend. So Sesshomaru took no damage, and from that one attack, instantly has 135 energy. He did nothing, and already has more than enough energy to launch one of his special attacks. Let's have a look at his techniques. Of course, they're in Japanese, so I need to translate them. The first one is Jokin. He just calls Jokin to walk onto the battlefield and use the Staff of Twin Heads to hit all enemies for fire damage. The description is: call forth Jokin and deal damage to all enemies. There's only one enemy, so I'm not going to bother with that. The other one is the Poison Claw, which the translation apparently turns out as Poison Flower Claw, which, alright game, you do you. The description for it translates as: attack one enemy with poisonous claws. It does have a chance to inflict poison, but poison is a pretty useless status condition in this game. Bosses are immune to status conditions, so whatever. 369 damage! For a single target attack. Like, that doesn't cost energy. I mean, yeah, no, that is pretty strong. Let's see. The translation for Sesshomaru's victory quote here is: that was a pointless fight, which, yeah, no shit. So, like, for a normal attack, sure. For a single target, normal attack that doesn't cost energy, yeah, that is pretty strong. No other character is going to have one that comes close to that. Let's see if I can get one that has multiple enemies. One enemy again. Alright, well, whatever. I may as well just summon Jokin anyway. So, watch Sesshomaru on the dial. Look at how much speed he has over Kururugi. Again, though, 28 speed compared to... I don't remember what Kururugi had. I'm pretty sure it's close to 20. Alright, here's Jokin.
Jokin. Ha!
180 damage. And it didn't even kill. I'm pretty sure InuYasha's Blades of Blood do more damage than that, or close to it. Now, of course, that was a crit, so I can't really compare that to the Poison Claw. But 460 on a crit compared to 369 on a not crit is interesting. But there's one more to show off. What is with these single enemies? If all I run into are single enemies, there is absolutely no point to Sesshomaru being here. Anyway. Right. Sesshomaru's co-op text. He does not have any. He can never learn any. Because co-op texts are based on the bonds the characters make between each other. Sesshomaru is not in the game long enough to get any bonds with characters, and the only character he's around is Kururugi. So there's nothing to build from here. Sesshomaru's special attacks. He only has 2. They both cost 1 energy, or 1 unit of energy. The first one is the Tenseiga. Anyone who knows the series should know what the Tenseiga does. At least for the first 6 seasons. The description is, recover 1 ally from incapacity. However, since Sesshomaru's only ever partnered up with Kururugi, the description honestly should say, recover Kururugi from being incapacitated. Because he's never in a party with anyone else, so there's no one else to target. And then there's this one. Some people might be wondering, what other technique could Sesshomaru have? Is it that light whip thing? No. It is the Soryuha, the technique that was made for him specifically for the 3rd movie. The English version decided to call it the Dragon Strike. The actual translation is the Azure Dragon Wave, which came into play with the final act. Which kind of makes it a little funny, because in Japan, the 3rd movie came out before the game, but in North America, the game came out before the 3rd movie. By like a year. So as far as... So, at least, unless the English audience had already delved into the series by the time this game came out, this would be their first appearance of the Dragon Strike, or Azure Dragon Wave, whatever the hell you want to call it. The description is, release the power of the Tokijin and deal heavy damage to all enemies.
Time.
744 damage. For an ultimate attack, that is pathetic. That is the lowest damage that you will see on an ultimate technique. Well, on the lower end. There are only 2 characters who do less damage than him with their ultimate attacks. They are Shippo and Songo. Kind of. There are some instances where Songo's ultimate attack can do more damage. Moroku is exempt because his strongest attack is an instant kill, so he doesn't count. InuYasha, Kagome, and specifically Michiru Kururugi all have ultimate attacks that do far more damage than Sesshomaru's very consistently. The only difference is Sesshomaru's only costs 1 unit of energy, and he can generate energy far faster than anyone else. The only upside that Sesshomaru has is that his ultimate attack is spammable as all hell. For InuYasha, it costs 2 units of energy and does roughly 850 damage consistently, which is not bad. Kagome's ultimate attack costs 3 units of energy. So, it'll take all of her energy, but she pretty consistently does around 999 damage with it, which is the damage cap. Kururugi's ultimate attack always does 999 damage to all enemies, but it costs 3 units of energy, and it drops his HP to 0 after using it. Now, to translate what Sesshomaru said here, according to the translation, is, "You scumbags. The farce is over." So needless to say, Sesshomaru may seem strong, given where in the game he joins up first, but by the time the other characters reach his point, they will outpace him. They can't do as much damage per... Or, like, they can't spam their attacks as much as he can, but per attack, they outpace him. Ooh. No, that's an interesting read. That is an interesting line read. Give me a sec. I need to find that in the English version. Come on. Here we go. In the English version, Kururugi says, "Is that Otoki?" According to the translation, Kururugi says, "That's Otoki-san." Sesshomaru does not care. Just walks right up to her. Kururugi tries to stop him. According to the translation, "Wait, that's not an enemy! That's someone I know! Stop it!" In the English version, Kururugi says, "Wait, that isn't the enemy! I know her! Stop it!" So, close enough. Sesshomaru does not care. This is also something that wasn't present in the English version. You can actually hear the shock and horror in Kururugi's voice. He just watched this person that he does not know, that he's forced to travel with, kill a young girl. Yes, she is a corpse, but she was someone Kururugi knew. He didn't want, and same with the samurai, Kururugi doesn't want to fight them. Even specifically says she's not an enemy. Kururugi, and we just had Kururugi yell at Sesshomaru to stop. And Sesshomaru did not fucking care. In the English version, Kururugi just says, "Why?" But with the shock and horror in the tone in the Japanese voice, the translation is, "Why?" Let's see. Oh! No, this is interesting. In the English version, Kururugi then says, "That's awful, poor thing." According to the translation, right after Kururugi turns his attention to Sesshomaru, says, That was a terrible thing to do. While it's not evident in Kururugi's tone, he despises Sesshomaru for this. Like, there is very much a building hate for Sesshomaru here. That's impressive. I was not expecting that from the Japanese version, just considering the English version, because the English version is very much, even though the English version did not change Kururugi's model, so it still turns to face Sesshomaru. What Kururugi says in the English version, that's awful, poor thing, is very much more directed to Otoki and her being cut down. Like, he feels bad for Otoki, but from the translation, Kururugi is very much directing this to Sesshomaru, like, you are a terrible person. What were you doing? But don't really need to translate that. That's just Otoki saying thank you. In the English version, Otoki instead says, thank you so much.
Otoki-san.
Let's see. In the translation, Kururugi says, huh? Otoki-san? Completely taken by surprise that Otoki's spirit is speaking, which makes sense. He hasn't encountered something like this before. In the English version, Kururugi says, huh? Otoki. And then she's just saying thank you again. Let's see. From the translation here, she then says, thanks to you guys, we were able to escape from the curse of Naraku. In the English version, she says, because of you, I was able to escape Naraku's spell. So this is a little interesting because the English version is very much Otoki talking about themselves. The translation, if it sticks to us we, you could say is Otoki referring to everyone that Sesshomaru cut down with the we were able to escape. Or you could reword it to I was able to escape to better match up with the English version of Otoki referring to herself. And then she ends with, now I can sleep peacefully. And in the English version, she concludes with, I can sleep soundly now. Let's see. From the translation here, Kururugi says, Naraku's curse. Were those corpses cursed? In the English version, Kururugi instead says, Naraku's spell? All those corpses were under his spell?
呪われた体を破壊してやれば魂も解放されるに決まっておろう。
According to the translation, Jongen says, if we destroy the cursed body, surely the soul will be freed. I feel like that could be touched up a little bit. I'm just going to check the other translator. Yeah, yeah, okay. a little iffy at the start, but a little bit better otherwise. With the D-Bell translator having Jokin say, if you destroy a cursed body, of course it frees the soul. Let's see. In the English version, Jokin instead says, if you destroy a corpse that is under a spell, you will free its spirit. So, for a rewording of the translation, it should be, if a cursed body is destroyed, its soul will surely be freed. Or just its soul will be freed. It can be one of those.
そうだったんだ。それじゃあまさか殺生丸もそれを知ってて。
Then from Kururugi, the translation is that so? Don't tell me, Sashomaru knew about that too? In the English version, Kururugi says, really? So Sashomaru knew about this too?
くだらんことを言っとらんととっとと頂上まで案内せんか。
Jokin's translation is, stop talking nonsense and just lead us to the top. In the English version, he says, don't waste our time talking, just take us to the castle tower.
あ、そうだ。待って。
Here from Kururugi, the translation is, oh, that's right. Hold on. In the English version, Kururugi says, oh yeah, wait a minute. Let's see. From Jokin, the translation is, what are you doing? There is a bit more of an inquisitive tone to his voice here. In the English version, he sounds more like, what are you doing? You're wasting time with... Yeah, what are you doing? In the English version. So they definitely had a tone change there.
これを持たせてあげないと。
Let's see. From this... Kururugi's response is, I have to let her have this. Well, okay. I did do a change there. The actual translation it came up with, I have to let you have this. Which, if that is to be taken as the accurate translation, would be Kururugi speaking to Otoki's body. Otherwise, if Kururugi is responding to Jokin, it should be, I have to let her have this. In the English version, Kururugi says, Toki should hold on to this. Which is interesting that the English version has Kururugi say Toki, because there's no mention of Otoki's name here in the Japanese text.
Otoki-san はもういないけど。せめてこれを一緒に置いてあげよう。
Okay, first, the pinwheel, for anyone who hasn't been here in the previous streams, was the pinwheel that Kururugi gave to Otoki because Kururugi and the group was asked by her younger brother to deliver it for her so that she wouldn't be sad. However, in the last stream, we found the pinwheel without Otoki at the bottom of a stairwell. And everyone started to wonder whether or not Otoki was able to make it out and maybe dropped it. Now we know what happened, so we're giving the pinwheel back to its rightful owner. But the dialogue here is interesting, because this is inner thought dialogue. I did not think this was inner thought dialogue for the English version. According to the translation, Kururugi's inner thoughts are, Otoki-san is no longer with us. At least we have this. Let's put them together. In the English version, Kururugi says, Toki isn't alive anymore, but this is the least I can do.
そうすれば天国でも寂しくないはずだから。
And then Kururugi's inner thoughts conclude with, according to the translation, that way, you won't be lonely in heaven. In the English version, they conclude with Kururugi saying, then Toki won't be sad in heaven. So again, since the English version is very bad at trying to differentiate between spoken dialogue and thought dialogue, the English version very much suggests that Kururugi is explaining out loud what they're doing to Jokin because Jokin asked. But having it be inner thoughts here, given what the translations were, honestly, I like it. I like the translations with having this be inner his inner thought, or their inner thoughts. Again, Michiru and Kagome pretty much have largely the same script with some minor changes.
こらこそ、殺生丸様をお待たせするとは何事だ。
Let's see. And then we have Jokin getting impatient. According to the translation, he's saying, Hey, kid! To keep Lord Sesshomaru waiting! What's going on? I do think that needs to be reworded a little bit, but let's have a look at the English version. In the English version, Jokin says, Hey, boy! Why are you making Sesshomaru wait? So for the translated result, I would probably reword it to, Hey kid, what are you thinking keeping Lord Sesshomaru waiting?
Jaken.
I don't even need to throw that into a translator. That's just Sesshomaru calling out to Jokin.
ほら見ろ、何ですか、殺生丸様。
Alright, the translation here from Jokin is, Look, what is it, Sesshomaru-sama? In the English version, Jokin says, See, what is it, Lord Sesshomaru? Being the only instance in which any character refers to him as Lord Sesshomaru in the English version of the game.
放っておけ。
Sesshomaru's translation here is leave them alone. In the English version, Sesshomaru says leave the kid alone, which, not too different. But just kind of given Sesshomaru's character being as short as leave them alone, works a little bit better. I don't need to translate this. This is Jokin just being shocked that Sesshomaru's like, being shocked that Sesshomaru is standing up for this human that they just met. Like, I'm sorry, what? Because it comes completely out of nowhere. Everyone knows how Sesshomaru is with Rin. Everyone knows how long it took for him to get comfortable with Rin being around. They did a lot faster than that. And it makes no goddamn sense. In the English version, instead of being kind of shocked from Jokin, Jokin instead just kind of laughs a bit nervously, like, oh, okay. But with that, we're gonna go for a quick little break. Alright, and we're back. And I forgot I didn't close out of that dialogue before going on break, but whatever. There's nothing in here for us, so let's just keep going. Let's see. I need to get the English version where it needs to be. Okay. No, don't get stuck on stuff. If I get into a fight, that's fine. That kills time. Okay, group of 4. This would likely be a problem for Kururugi, but especially if you're playing as Michiru, he has the Flame of Judgment. He's more than strong enough to take them all out on his own. He does not need Sesshomaru. Absolutely not. As long as he has the energy, he can do this place just fine. Michiru does not need Sesshomaru for here. And you are guaranteed to have at least Flame of Judgment by the time you reach this point. If you're playing as the girl, however, Kagome, she does not have any attack that hits all enemies, so she will struggle a bit more. But she can get through just fine, too. Speaking of, that entire bit with Otoki, you absolutely did not need Sesshomaru for that. Moroku could have easily brought up the whole, if you destroy a cursed corpse, if you destroy a corpse that's been cursed, you'll free its spirit. Because he's a Buddhist monk, you would think Moroku would know this, would know something like that. Sango's also possible because she's a demon slayer. She kind of knows, like, while she doesn't know everything, you'd think she'd know how a lot of shit works. InuYasha, iffy. He'd probably just cut through anyway, and figure it out. Kagome, I'm pretty sure wouldn't know because there really hasn't been any situation in the original story where that happens. Ship'll probably not either. There's absolutely 0 point for Sesshomaru being here. You easily... Oh, hold on. I'm pretty sure I did this one already, but I want to double check. Yeah, already had that one. Like, what they could have done is made this place be, or made this section of the game be tied to whoever you've spent the most time off with by this point. And then you go through that section of the game and deal with the Otoki stuff. Maybe something is forced to happen. It becomes a forced battle. Despite Kururugi not wanting to fight, it's like, no, you have to. Or you could have met up with everyone. Like, you could have... They also could have just done the encounter with Otoki. Kururugi doesn't want to fight, but Otoki keeps approaching, and the others come in to save, for the save, and then Moroku's like, we have no choice but to destroy Otoki's body. But this isn't malicious, because if we do it, we set her free. They easily could have done that. There was no point for Sesshomaru to be here. Most of the people who've played this game are under the belief that the only reason Sesshomaru was added to this game was to be a romance partner for the end of the game. I'm probably repeating myself. I don't remember. If I am, someone please speak up. But my personal opinion is, because Kagome does not gain an attack that hits multiple enemies like Michiru does, the devs thought that she needed someone who could to act as a bodyguard. So they threw in Sesshomaru to give Kagome a nuke option for the big enemy party of 4 type fights. And since they did that, they were like, oh, like, we've already coded Sesshomaru for this section, so he's also locked to the boy, even though the boy can clear this place no problem on his own. There's another section where it's unnecessary. But I'll get to that. Let's see. The translation here from Kururugi. Alright, it very much started with a sigh of relief. At least in the Japanese version. With the translation coming out as, oh, thank goodness, everyone was safe. In the English version, Kururugi instead just comes out with, oh great, you're all safe. So, very much a tone change. The English version is, Kururugi enters the room, sees everyone, and just goes, oh! You're all here and safe. The Japanese version, Kururugi walks into the room, sees everyone here, and just goes, oh, thank goodness, you're all here and safe. Damn these tone changes. The English version really dropped the fucking ball. The translation here from Kururugi is, there were a lot of yokai around, so I was worried. Hinting at the encounters now having 4 enemies per fight. In the English version, Kururugi follows up with, if I can get to it. There we go. Kururugi in the English version follows up with, there were demons all over the place. I was really worried. And then Kagome is the first one to speak up. From the translation, saying, it's you! I'm glad you're safe. While in the English version, she says, I'm glad you're safe too. This is consistent no matter what route you're on. Or who you're playing as. If you're playing as Michiru or Kagome, if you're on InuYasha's route, Moroku's route, Songo's route, Shippo's route, Kagome's always the first one to speak up and say this. That's a thing with Kagome in this game. She is always the first one to speak up and express how glad she is that Kururugi is safe, that they're okay, or the first one to ask, are you okay? Let's see, from Songo. Translation is, the corpses, they kept coming in and out, so everyone was worried. In the English version, Songo says, more and more corpses were gathering. We were getting worried. I do think that translation should be reworded a little bit. Just swap out the they kept coming in and out. Because that just kind of comes off a little weird. I guess unless you trying to consider a different context. Let's see. How can I justify that? Let's try doing this from sections. Okay, here we go. Okay, that came out a... Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. The middle one, the middle section, throwing just that in, came up as more and more people gathered. So let's see what the rest turn up as. And see if we can rearrange this. Let's read. And this one is the corpses. Huh. Okay, let's... I want to try to think about this one. Let's try this. Let's see. There's definitely moto, which is more and more. Okay, I think I got the translation figured out then. If I wanted to do it verbatim, it should be the corpses more and more kept coming as we gathered, so everyone was worried. So... probably make the final translation a bit closer to the English version, with more and more corpses were gathering as we met up, so we were getting worried. Or so everyone was worried. I think that works fine.
でも、なんでオラたちは無視して集まっていったんじゃろう?
Let's see. Shippo's is going to be an interesting one based on the English. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, this is interesting. So, here's the English version for context. In the English version, Shippo says, "But why did they go after you and not me?" which doesn't really make sense. Honestly, for the English version, it would make a little bit more sense with why did they go after you and not us? The translation, though, has Shibbo say, but why did they all just ignore us and gather together?
それは僕たちが3人で動いていたせいかも。
Let's see. Then from Kururugi, the result is that maybe because there were 3 of us working together. In the English version, Kururugi says maybe that's because there were 3 of us. Which, not too different.
3人
This shouldn't need a translation, but I'll throw it in anyway. This is Kagome asking 3 people. While in the English version, she asks 3 of you. And here we go.
殺生丸、なんでこんなところにいやがんだよ。
And also, yeah, so Shomaru was pretty much only there for 2 floors of the dungeon. Big whoop. Let's see. From InuYasha, the translation is Sashomaru. Hold on, what? No, that result is weird. The Google Translate result is apparently having InuYasha say Sashomaru. Why do you hate being in a place like this? But that doesn't make sense. What does the other translator say? Alright. I mean, kinda better, kinda not. Oh boy. Let's try this. Okay, no, that doesn't make sense. Alright, let's take the English version first to get a bit of context. Okay, so in the English version, InuYasha says, Sashomaru, what are you doing here? The translated result definitely needs to be reworded. Most likely, I think it should say, Sashomaru, what are you doing in a place like this?
あ、うん。僕だけじゃここまで来れそうになかったから。
Okay. From Kururugi, the translation is, yeah. I didn't think I could have made it this far on my own. While in the English version, Kururugi just says, I don't think I could have gotten here by myself. Yeah, no, again, there's definitely a bit of a hesitation in Kururugi's voice. Starting with the, yeah. It's like, I don't really know if I should say, but...
みんな殺生丸のこと知ってるの?
Okay, this is different. According to the translation, Kururugi says, does everyone know about Sashomaru? But in the English version, they actually do something a little interesting. In the English version... here we go. Come on now. There we go. In the English version, Kururugi asks, do you all know Sashomaru? And the English version is very specific because there is... Like, he asks... Kururugi asks, do you all know Sashomaru? Very slowly, like he's looking at InuYasha, Kagome, Shippo, Moroku, and Sango slowly to check their reaction, but realizes that, oh, that look on their faces tell me they know exactly who he is. Oh, this is interesting.
知ってるも何も、殺生丸は犬夜叉のお兄さんなの。
Let's see. From Kagome. Interesting. That came in a little interesting. I'm gonna have to try that again. One moment. Okay, in the English version, Kagome responds with, "Do we know him? He's InuYasha's older brother." This first one I need to try and see what I can mess with. Yeah, no. Why is it turning out like this? According to the translation, Kagome is saying, I don't know anything about it, so Shomaru is InuYasha's older brother. That first sentence does not make sense. Absolutely it doesn't. Hold on, I can't believe I'm thinking of doing this, but I'm trying this, a little bit at a time. I don't think I'm gonna get very far doing it the way I am. But may as well try. Okay, yeah, that turned up nothing. What the hell should this say? Oh, no. I know what it should say. I don't know why it translated the first part as I don't know anything about it, but I'm pretty sure the translation should be, of course we know him. Sashomaru is InuYasha's older brother. Like, that's just the best I can get, unless I can get someone else who can read Japanese to get a more accurate translation of that first one.
おまけに思いっきり仲が悪いのじゃ。
From Shippo. The translation is... What's more, they really... Actually... So the translation... The actual translation is turning out, what's more, we really don't get along. You could say it's they really don't get along, because in the English version, that's what Shippo says. They really don't get along. But... they're given when this game's story is seemingly supposed to take place within the overall series storyline. Shippo saying we really don't get along would also fit, because this would be a point where they do not trust Sashomaru. Like, the only time Sashomaru did anything good or helpful regarding them was with the Demon InuYasha stuff. That's it. Any other time they've crossed paths with Sashomaru, it has not gone well. So Shippo saying we really don't get along does match up in that sense. Otherwise, they don't get along, referring specifically to InuYasha and Sashomaru, fits perfectly.
犬やしや、この人間、お前の仲間だったのか。
Let's see. From Sesshomaru, the translation is InuYasha, this human. Was it your friend? Interesting result, but okay. In the English version, Sesshomaru says, "So, InuYasha, this human boy is your friend."
だったらなんだよ。
Then InuYasha's response. It comes out weird. Let's see if we can fix this. And does not look like it. Let's try something else. Okay, no, that doesn't help any. So, using the English version. In the English version, InuYasha's response is, "So what?" Alright, so the translation I'm getting is InuYasha saying, "Then, what is it?" Which very much does not sound right. If anything, I think the translation should be, "That's right, what of it?" At least that's the best I can do when I'm not getting a good result off of these.
行くぞ、邪剣。
And then that was very much a scoff from Sesshomaru before saying, "Let's go Jokin," according to the translation. Well, in the English version, there isn't even a scoff. He just says, "Let's go Jokin."
てめえどこ行こうってんだ。
Let's see here. From Sesshomaru, or sorry, from InuYasha. According to the translation, InuYasha is saying, "Hey, where are you going?" Well, in the English version, InuYasha says, "You, where are you going?" I mean, close enough. I'll take it.
はい、摂政丸様。
I don't even need to throw that in the translation. The English version has Jokin say, "Yes, Sesshomaru." The translation here would be, "Yes, Lord Sesshomaru." So, really no difference, just the English version lacking the Lord honorific.
Oi, 待てよ!
Let's see. From InuYasha, the translation is, "Hey, wait up!" While in the English version, he responds with, "Hey, wait a minute!" Which, pretty much the same thing.
どうやら先を急いだ方が良さそうですよ。
Let's see. From Moroku, the response, or the translation says, "Looks like we'd better hurry up." In the English version, he says, "Anyway, we better get going."
おそらく摂政丸も奈落を追っているに違いありません。
And the translation continues with, Sesshomaru is probably pursuing Naraku as well. In the English version, Moroku follows with, I think Sesshomaru is after Naraku too.
殺生丸には渡さねえ。奈落はこの俺が倒してやる。
From InuYasha, the translation is, I won't give it to Sesshomaru. I will defeat Naraku. I feel like that could be reworded a little bit. In the English version, InuYasha says, I won't let Sesshomaru get to Naraku first. I'm gonna destroy him. I think for the translation, it could be reworded to... I won't let Sesshomaru do that. The one who will defeat Naraku is me. Or I will be the one to defeat Naraku. Either of those, I think, works fine. I think that's a sacred tree dew, so... whatever. But then, look at this doofus! He gets himself surrounded by the zombie samurai. Even though we know he had the means to just completely blitz them. Like, what the hell? What a joke. Let's see. So I didn't need to translate InuYasha's dialogue. That's just him calling out Sesshomaru, which is the same in the English version. From Kagome, the translation is... Those are corpses, and there are a lot of them. In the English version, Kagome says, look at all the corpses. There's so many of them. And then from the translation, she follows with, it looks like they're targeting Sesshomaru. Well, in the English version, she says they're all attacking Sesshomaru.
ここは殺生丸が戦っている間に次の前へ行った方が良さそうですな。
Like, we saw Sesshomaru just walk through 4 of them. Oh, hi. You can get your ass banned. Fucking bot. But hey, thanks for the, thanks for the, new word that I can throw into the, ban list. One moment. Let me just take care of that. Let's see. From Moroku. Oh, right. Duh. I already threw it in the translator. The translation from Moroku is, it would be best if we go to the next room while Sesshomaru is fighting. In the English version, Moroku says, we should get going while Sesshomaru is busy fighting. So, yeah, like, we've seen Sesshomaru just walk through the zombie samurai before. So we know he can. And yet, he gets his ass freaking cornered like this. Like, what? This makes absolutely no sense. So there really is no point for Sesshomaru to be here. He adds nothing. From the translation, InuYasha says, serves you right, Sesshomaru. We'll be going first. In the English version, InuYasha instead says, too bad for you, Sesshomaru. We're going ahead. And while Sesshomaru's busy, let's go for Naraku. Or is it?
奥にいる屍、あれは雪村さんじゃ。
Unfortunately, we have to deal with Yukimura, the very samurai who led all the others to help us. But I think this is a good point for us to take another quick break. Alright, and we're back. Now then, let's run that dialogue through translator, shall we? According to the translation, Kururugi is saying that corpse in the back. That's Yukimura-san. Well, in the English version, Kururugi says that corpse over there. It's Yukimura.
確かにあれは雪村様。
From Moroku, translation is, that is certainly Yukimura-san. In the English version, he says it's Yukimura indeed.
なんだと？奈落はいねえのか？
InuYasha's translation is, what? Naraku isn't here? Well, in the English version, he says, what? Naraku's not here. And from Kururugi, the translation is, watch out, it's coming! While in the English version, Kururugi says, be careful, they're coming this way!
この強い邪気、どうやら雪村様の屍を通して他の屍を操っているようですな。
See. From Moroku, the translation is, a strong evil aura seems to be controlling other corpses through Yukimura-sama's corpse. In the English version, he says, this demonic aura is strong. He's using Yukimura's corpse to control all the other corpses.
いくら屍とはいえ、
This is interesting. All right. Apparently the translation here is no matter how much of a corpse it is. While in the English version, Moroku follows up with, even though they are corpses.
我々がこの人たちのことを攻撃できないと知っていて、奈落がかけた術でしょうが。
And then finishes with, according to the translation, it's likely that Naraku knew we wouldn't be able to attack these people, and so he cast this spell on us. I'm pretty sure that should be cursed, but... yeah, no, it should be, and so he cast this curse on them. Let's see. Well, in the English version, Roku says, Naraku knew that we wouldn't be able to attack them, so he came up with this spell. So, again, Naraku just being an evil fucking piece of shit. He knew that we knew these people, so after he killed them, he cursed them all, with the majority going to Yukimura to control the others. Because Naraku's like, if they come here looking for me, they're not gonna find me, but they won't be able to attack these people, so it's a win-win for me.
くそー、奈落のやつめ、相変わらずずる賢いことを。
But of course, Naraku's also an idiot, because push comes to shove, they will have to. But then Naraku kind of gets the last laugh of, I made you destroy someone that you were close with, so haha. Okay. In the English version... hold on. In the English version... Hippo says, "Damn Naraku, cheating as usual." According to the translation, the Google Translate result for Shippo is, "Damn it, Naraku, you bastard, as cunning as ever." But the Deep L translation has Shippo saying, "Oh, you son of a bitch, cunning as ever." I do think, as far as the Japanese translation goes, Shippo saying, "Damn it, Naraku, you bastard," as cunning as ever, makes a bit more sense. But the English version does kind of fit Shippo's character a little better, I think.
じゃあ、雪村さんの術を解けば、他の屍も解放されるの？
Let's see. From Kururugi, the translation is... So if we undo Yukimura's curse, the other corpses will be freed too? While in the English version, Kururugi says, so if we release Yukimura from the spell, all the other corpses will be freed?
おそらくそうでしょう。
And Moroko's response from the translation is, probably so. While in the English version, Moroko simply says yes.
Yukimura-sanたちを解放してあげなきゃ。
Let's see. From Kagome, the translation is, we need to free Yukimura and the others. In the English version, she says, we have to set them free.
奈落の野郎、絶対に許さねえ。
From InuYasha, the translation is, Naraku, you bastard! I'll never forgive you! Well, in the English version, he just says, Naraku, I'll never forgive you.
雪村さん、ごめんなさい。
Let's see. Kururugi's translation comes up as, I'm sorry, Yukimura-san. It could also be, forgive me, Yukimura-san. Because in the English version, Kururugi just says, I'm sorry, Yukimura.
屍とはいえ戦いたくはない。けど、あなたの魂を救うためには戦うしかないんだよ。
The continuation from Kururugi is... Although you're a corpse, I don't want to fight. But I have no choice but to fight in order to save your soul. In the English version, Kururugi says, I don't even want to fight your corpse. In order to free your spirit, I have to fight you. Unique boss theme. This theme only plays, I want to say 2 more times? Or technically 3 more times. Ooh! Good crit to start, Moroku. Right. Actually, hold on. Who else do you have a thing with? I don't know if I did that one. But it costs 2 each, and InuYasha doesn't even have any. Alright. Boost defense. I guess that's all Shippo's good for now. As much as I'd like to do the co-op pack for damage, Kururugi needs to heal everyone. Interesting! Yukimura's corpse actually speaks in the Japanese version. That is very much not present in the English version. But I may as well. It'll get her to 0 energy so they can technically get closer. Right, you already have your ultimate attack. Okay, why not? Ooh, interesting crit. Only to completely miss Shippo. Oh. Oh, hell yes. Let's go.
行くわよ。
うん、わかった。万物に宿るあまたの力を借りて。行け、式神。
行くわよ。行け。
Good hit, good hit. Good damage. Hey Ray, Rado, how was your stream? Welcome in. Ooh. Let's see.
交渉しやがれって。どうで。はい。
Kagome needs some healing soon. Well, let me pop in and see how you're doing. That's good, and thanks for stopping by. We're pretty much done with the first Sashomaru portion of the game. Thankfully. Let's see. Moroku. Wait, right, no, your heal is free. Of course, single target healing is always free. Shippo, if only you had your smashing top, you could actually do some damage. How's everyone's defense going, actually? Also, it's so weird to see the Japanese version. Trust me, it was for me, too. There's a lot of times I had to run stuff through a translator just to be like, wait, what the hell was this again? But I've also played the English version so much that I pretty much memorized what, at least what the menu and techniques are. It's the items that throw me off a lot more. You know what? Let's get Songwa Nectar. And have a little fun. Can't wait to get further in my playthrough. I really did miss this game. Nice! Sadly, no experience. Hold on.
これで雪村さんも解放されたんだね。
Now I need to pull up the English version so I have the comparison. There we go. Okay. Now, let's translate this. According to the translation, Kururugi is saying, so now Yukimura-san is free. In the English version, Kururugi says Yukimura is free now. From Shippo, translation is, you bastard, Naraku! Well, okay, no, the second half of that comes out really weird. What? Apparently the second half is, oh, I really did come here. Like, that makes no sense. Let's try a different translator. Okay, that doesn't really help either. Oh, no. Let's use the English version. Okay, in the English version, Shippo says, I've had about as much as I can take of that Naraku. Let's see. The first part is definitely Naraku, you bastard. Or, you bastard Naraku. What the heck is the rest of this, though? Because that's definitely not what it should translate to. It's... okay. None of the translations I'm getting are good. Wish I could stay, but I'm getting a migraine. But I'm glad I could catch you and say hello. Yeah, no worries. Take care of yourself, Ray. And maybe I can catch you next time. Okay. So the Deep L translator is translating the I guess the bottom half of what Shippo is saying as I'm really getting impatient, which also isn't correct. So I do think the translation should be that bastard Naraku. Oh, I've really had it with him. Or I've had all I can take. Hope you have fun and good luck with the translations. Thanks. Yeah, see you around. From InuYasha, the translation is... Okay, the very start of that is a little weird. Okay, no, hold on. The Deep L translation result, I definitely need to say. According to the Deep L translator, InuYasha is saying, oh, you son of a bitch, where the fuck are you? Translators be tripping. In the English version, InuYasha says, Naraku, where did you disappear to? According to Google Translate, InuYasha is saying, hey, Naraku, where did you go? But I really think it should be, Naraku, where did you go? I'm keeping that that Deep L translation result of InuYasha saying, "Oh, you son of a bitch, where the fuck are you?" That's just funny. That's just funny to me. And of course, translator's gonna drop the ball on Saimyosho, so... apparently, according to the translation, Songo is saying, that's a Saimyosho. In the English version, she says, oh no, the Saimyosho. From InuYasha, the translation is, were you watching over us? While the English version, InuYasha says, damn, they're watching us. So the translation, I'd either reword it to, were you watching us? Or they were watching us. Anyway, one moment. Sorry about that.
Saimyoshoが向かったのはあやめの里の方角ですな。
And then from Jakin, the translation is, the Saimyosha was headed in the direction of Ayame village. In the English version, Jakin instead says, the Saimyosha are headed towards Ayame village.
奈落がいないのなら、この地に長居しても仕方がない。行くぞ、ジャケン。
From Sesshomaru, the translation is, if Naraku isn't here, there's no point in staying here any longer. Let's go, Jakin. While in the English version, he says, if Naraku isn't here, there's no use in us hanging around. Let's go, Jakin. So, honestly, pretty similar, but just given Sesshomaru's character, I don't think I could ever actually hear him say there's no use in us hanging around. So, I do think the translated result is better to his character.
Ha, Sesshomaru-sama.
From the translation... Yeah, okay. The translation doesn't really matter here. In the English version, Jakin says, okay, Sesshomaru, not Lord Sesshomaru. Again, the English version just absolutely dropping the fucking ball. From the translation, it should be Jakin saying, yes, Lord Sesshomaru.
Sesshomaru たちも奈落を追うみたいね。
Let's see. From Kagome, the translation is, it looks like Sesshomaru is, the translation is, it looks like Sesshomaru and his friends are also pursuing Naraku. I get why the translation would say that, considering Kagome said Sesshomaru Tachi. But in the English version, Kagome says it looks like Sesshomaru is going after Naraku too. So for the translation, even though Kagome says Sesshomaru Tachi to refer to Sesshomaru and Jakin, I do think a better translation would be, it looks like Sesshomaru is also pursuing Naraku.
じゃあ僕たちも行こう。
From Kururugi, the translation is, yeah, well then, let's go too. Well, in the English version, Kururugi says, yes, we should go too. And then that's just Kagome agreeing.
ごめんなさい、お侍さんたち。仇はきっと撃つから、もう少し待っててください。
Though in the English version, Kagome agrees with a yes, because the English version is fucking stupid with its localization. Now this, I thought, would have been Kururugi's inner thoughts from the English version, but apparently it isn't. According to the translation, Kururugi is saying, I'm sorry, samurai. I will definitely get revenge, so please wait a little longer. In the English version, Kururugi says, I'm sorry, Yukimura. We will avenge your death. Just wait. So it is interesting that the English version specifies Yukimura, but the Japanese version refers to the samurai as a whole. Also, the way Kururugi in the English version says, we will avenge your death. Just wait. Makes him try to sound a lot more menacing than the Japanese version actually does. And of course, the English voice for both Michiru and Kagome at the time absolutely could not really pull off the menacing tone for the character. So that we get booted out of the castle. But of course, considering last stream we did run into a fight out here trying to get to the castle, we could very likely enter a fight on the way out. But I don't think we will. Okay. Now, we can continue to the story in Ayame Village. But there's a new event here. So when we first arrived in Suzumi Village, we then spent the night, spent the next day having a day off event, and then spent the third day wandering around to gather information on how to get to the castle because there was a landslide blocking the path. We talked to the person who was trying to clear the road, and he said that it would take a month. That it would take a month to clear the road, which should be in time for the festival. Spoilers, this event is that festival. So, we have spent 1 month in the game from when we first visited Suzumi Village. So from when we first visited Suzumi Village, as mentioned, we spent the night, then spent the second day having a day off, third day gathering information, and then dealing with Kohaku. Then we spent another day off. Then we went to the mountain pass, and spent a night at the yokai mansion in the mountains. And in that same night, we're able to get back to Suzumi Village for a proper night's rest. Spent the next day off. And that is 6 days. We already spent 1 week just in Suzumi Village. And then, when we arrived in Castletown, Kagome mentions that it's been a while since she last had a bath. If we consider that the Kagome Day Off event, in which she does laundry and then takes a bath, would still happen no matter what route you're on, even if she probably has a bath and has someone else standing watch or whatever, it's likely been at least 2 days to get from Suzumi Village through the entire mountain pass to get to the castle town. So that's already 8 days. It took more than likely less than even half a day, story-wise, to get through Castle Town, get to the top of the castle tower, and get our asses beat by Naraku, and then ejected out of the secret passage. Somehow, we got from the castle town all the way to Ringo Village. There is no visible waterway. We can see there are water on the right side, so if there was supposed to be a waterway, they very easily could have shown like a waterway through the mountains. But somehow, we got sent from the castle town through the mountains all the way to Rindo Village. How long did that take? Who knows? In the Japanese version, according to what the guy in the house said, it's likely someone, either InuYasha or Sango, probably InuYasha considering he was face down on the floor, exhausted himself after carrying all of us to the village. Either way, the guy found us passed out in the village, so we don't know how long that was for. When we wake up, we're then told to go to Mount Ho'o, to go to the top of the mountain. Given the size of the mountain, plus the fact that we saw that training hut that Moroku points out, to which both Moroku and Shippo mentioned that we could spend the night there. It's likely it took about 3 days to climb the entire mountain. Getting down is no problem because we just used Shippo. So that was about 8 days from Suzumi Village to the castle town. Then 3 days to climb the mountain. We get back down. Kururugi gets a power-up. We spend a day off. And then we head back towards the castle. And somehow, all of that took a span of 1 month. So, whatever happened that sent us from the castle town to Rindo Village would have likely taken about a week, maybe a week and a half. And then walking back from Rindo Village to the castle town, also about a week and a half. Yes, I am going to lore nerd on this shit. Just because of this stupid event. And we're going here for a reason.
お囃子が聞こえてくる。ちょうど村祭りみたいね。
Let's see. I just need to get the English version up here. From Kagome. The translation says... Oh, I hear the music. It feels just like a village festival. While in the English version, Kagome says, I can hear music. We're just in time for the village festival. Which again, like the guy who was trying to clear the road said that the road would be cleared in time for the village festival. It is now the village festival. It's been a month!
本当だ。賑やかで楽しそうだね。
From Songo, the translation is... It's true. It looks lively and fun. While in the English version, she just says, it looks so lively and fun.
祭りともなれば、きっと女子たちも美しく着飾って楽しみですな。
From Moroku, the translation is... If it's a festival, I'm sure the women will be dressed beautifully, and I'm looking forward to it. In the English version, Moroku says... I can get to it. If it's festival time, then the ladies are probably all dressed up. I can't wait.
奉仕様
Of course. Songo just calls him monk because apparently that's what Hoshi-sama translates to, according to the manga at any rate. Because the English version of the manga, I do think, tries to stick a bit closer to the Japanese translation. Although the English version of the manga also translates barrier as shield for whatever fucking reason. In the English version, Songo just calls out Moroku as normal. With Moroku! Yeah, okay, just double checking to make sure I wasn't, wrong.
のみんなちょっと見ていかんか
From Shippo, the translation is... Okay, the translation comes out as, now everyone, want to go take a look? But I think it should be, hey everyone, want to go take a look? In the English version, Shippo says, hey everybody, come look. So, yeah, I do think the translation should be, hey everyone, want to go take a look?
け祭りぐれで浮かれやがって奈落はどうなったんだよ
In the English version, the translation for InuYasha is, you're all excited about the festival. What happened to Naraku? In the English version, instead it's, why are you guys getting distracted by the festival? What happened to looking for Naraku?
たまには良いではないですか。人間、息抜きも必要ですよ。
From Moroku, the translation is, it's good to take a break every once in a while, isn't it? People need to take a break. In the English version, though, Moroku says, it's okay every once in a while. Humans need to rest.
そうじゃ犬やしゃオラは妖怪じゃが息抜きは必要なんじゃ
From Shippo, the translation is, that's right, InuYasha. I may be a yokai, but I still need to take a break. In the English version, he says, yeah, InuYasha, I'm a demon, but I still need a breather.
しょうがねえなおめえらはちょっくら覗いてみっか
From InuYasha, the translation is, there's nothing I can do about it, you guys. Well, let's have a quick look. Or, no. Never mind, the translation should be, there's nothing you can do about it, you guys. Well, let's have a quick look. So in the English version, InuYasha says, I guess you guys can't help it. Let's go take a look.
そんなこと言って犬やしゃも結構お祭りが気になるんだな
Kururugi's inner thoughts, translated, is... That translated very awkwardly. Let's see. Alright, English version for comparison. In the English version, Kururugi's inner thoughts are, no matter what InuYasha says, I can tell he's interested in the festival too. The translated result comes up as, saying that InuYasha seems to be quite interested in the festival as well. I do think it should be reworded to... Even though he's saying that, InuYasha seems to be quite interested in the festival as well. The whole, like, because of the whole InuYasha acting like, you guys can't help it, so fine, let's relax. But, hey, InuYasha's actually a little interested because who the hell is not interested in a festival?
あれはデイスケさんじゃない？どうしたのかしら、みんなに囲まれて。
Let's see. Okay, come on now. I think I jumped ahead a little too much. Alright, here we go. From Kagome, the translation is... Isn't that Densuke? Wonder what's happened to him. He's surrounded by everyone. In the English version, she says, isn't that Densuke? I wonder why he's surrounded by all those people.
Oh, これは皆様方、お助けください。
Let's see. From Densuke, the translation is... oh my, everyone, please help! In the English version... he says, anyone, please help me!
わからずやばかりで困っていたところだったのです。
And from the translation, follows up with... I just don't understand I was in trouble. What? Okay. English version. English version, he says, they were all being so unreasonable. I didn't know what to do. Alright, let's see what the other translator has to say. Alright. The Deep L translator is turning this to... always having a hard time understanding something, we were in a bind. Which is worse than the Google Translate results, so... what the heck should the translation actually be? First things first, try to segment. Okay. And this one is... Okay, so no change. Alright. Okay, I think I know what to change the translation to, but I am going to have to borrow a little from the English version. The translation, I think, should come across as... We're in a bit of trouble, and I don't know what to do. Again, that's the best I can come up with. If I can find someone who can actually read Japanese, who can translate better, I would. From Kururugi, the translation comes out as... What's wrong? But... I think... I don't think that's enough. Okay, no, that doesn't come out well either. Alright. In the English version, Kururugi says... Okay, no. Kururugi does just ask what's wrong. But, given the text here, it looks like there should be more. Okay. Segmenting it. The first part comes up as what happened. Second part... doesn't come out all that well. So, either I could keep it with what's wrong, or I could have the translation be what's going on, what happened. I don't know.
今日は村祭り恒例の太鼓合戦の日でしたが、対戦相手が来られずに取りやめにしたのです。
Let's see. From Densuke, translation comes out as... Today was the day of the traditional drumming battle at the village festival, but it was cancelled because the opponents could not attend. Once again, like Densuke confirms, today's the day of the festival, so it's been a month since we were first in Suzumi Village. In the English version, Densuke says, today is the annual festival drum competition, but the opposing team couldn't make it, so we cancelled it.
ですが、楽しみにしていた村の衆が納得せずに、この通り囲まれておったというわけで。
The translation from Densuke continues with... However, the villagers who had been looking forward to it were not happy about it. So, here they are. So here I am, surrounded. In the English version... He says, but everybody was really looking forward to it. So they won't accept the fact that it was cancelled. That's why I was surrounded by everyone.
おや、そういえばあなた方、人数もちょうどいい。太鼓合戦にご参加くださらんか。
Let's see. And then his translation here concludes with... Oh, by the way, you guys, the numbers are just right. Would you like to join the drumming battle? In the English version, he says, hey, wait a second. There's just the right number of you. Will you join us in the drum competition?
え、僕たちですか?
From Kururugi, the translation is, what? Do you mean us? In the English version, Kururugi says, what? Us?
面白そうじゃねえか。見てるだけじゃつまんねえと思ってたんだ。
From InuYasha, translation is, that sounds fun. I thought just watching it would be boring. In the English version, InuYasha says, well, that sounds fun. Much more fun than just watching.
太鼓か。子供の頃に叩いたきりだけど、なんとかなるだろう。
From Songo, the translation is, oh, drums? I haven't played them since I was a kid, but I'm sure I can manage. In the English version, she says, drums, huh? I haven't played since I was little, but I'm sure we can figure it out.
そうね。せっかくみんなが楽しみにしてたお祭りだし、やってみましょうよ。
In the English, sorry, almost skipped ahead there. From Kagome, the translation is, well, since it's a festival that everyone has been looking forward to, let's give it a go. In the English version, she says, and everybody is really looking forward to it. And everybody is really looking forward to that part of the festival. Let's give it a try.
そうだね。それじゃあやってみようか。
From Kururugi, the translation is, I agree. Let's give it a try then. In the English version, Kururugi says, okay, let's do it.
Oh, ありがたい。村の衆も喜びますわい。
And then from Densuke, the translation is, oh, thank you very much. The villagers will be happy too. In the English version, he says, oh, thank you. The villagers will be so happy. Close enough.
太鼓合戦は5人対5人で行うので、あなたは応援ということでよろしいでしょうか。
In the English version, from the translation, Densuke continues with, the drum battle is a 5-on-5 match, so would you like to support the others? In the English version, he says, in the drum competition, there are 5 people on each side. Please cheer on your friends.
うん。みんな頑張ってね。一生懸命応援するから。
And then Kururugi, according to the translation, says, yeah, everyone, do your best. I'll cheer you on with all my might. And in the English version, Kururugi says, okay, you can do it, guys. I'll do my best to cheer you on. And with that, I think we can go for one more break. Alright, time for the drum festival.
太鼓合戦は5対5で行います。
Let's see. The translation here is, the drum battle will be held in a 5-on-5 format. In the English version, Densuke says, so, the drum competition will be 5 against 5.
一人ずつ太鼓を叩いて、どっちが上手かったかの勝負です。
In the translation, he continues with, They each beat the drum one by one and compete to see who is the best. In the English version, if I can get to it, he says a person from each team will compete against the other on the drum to see who is the best.
5人が叩き終えた時点で勝ち星の多かった方の勝利となります。
And then the translation here is, once all 5 players have finished hitting, the one with the most wins will be declared the winner. In the English version, he says whichever team has the most wins is the winning team. There is actually a point to this. Because you get some seeds if you win, depending on how many rounds you win. If you only win 2, well, if you win between 0 and 2 rounds, you just flat out lose. If you win 3 rounds, you get a crimson seed, which we already have. If you win 4 rounds, you get a pink seed, which I believe we already have. Yes, we do. But if you win all 5, you get a lacquered seed, which this is the only place where you can get one. And we need that for a mystery field event. So we got to get all 5. The translation, Densuke says, now for the first match. In the English version, he says, and now for our first pair. First one up. InuYasha. We're pretty much going in the order that they joined the party in the original story. According to the translation, Kururugi is saying, InuYasha, keep it up. Although, considering this is the start, it should be InuYasha, go for it. Or, you can do it. Well, in the English version, Kururugi says, you can do it, InuYasha. From the translation, InuYasha says, yeah, leave it to me. In the English version, he just says, leave it to me. And not only does this event let us see some, I guess you could say, some personality aspects of the other characters, it shows it helps show a dynamic with Kururugi.
どちらも準備は良いかな。それでは開始。
From Densuke here, the translation is, are you both ready? Let's begin. In the English version, he says, are you ready? All right, drum. Sorry for blowing your ears out. Okay, no. This makes a lot of sense for all of this to be Kururugi's inner thoughts rather than speaking aloud, and pointing out what InuYasha's flaws are. But, yes, this is Kururugi paying attention to how the others hit the drum, figuring out what their weakness is, and how to make them stronger. Because that's largely Kururugi's entire point in the group, to cover their weaknesses and make them better. According to the translation, Kururugi's thoughts are InuYasha is going too fast and the sound is distorting. I have to support them. But in the English version, Kururugi says InuYasha is drumming way too hard. The sound isn't flowing. How can I cheer him on? So this is a little different. In the English version, he's going too hard. In the Japanese version, he's going too fast. So now we have choices on how we can support him. In the English version, the choices are for InuYasha to drum harder, to drum softer, or to sing louder. So one of them is the correct answer. One of them is a very obvious wrong answer. And the other is just straight up a wrong answer. The first one, translated, is InuYasha, harder. Take that out of context, as you will. Interesting. The second one is InuYasha, relax more instead of softer. And the third one, from the translation, is InuYasha, speak louder. Which I'm guessing is supposed to be the sing louder, but he has to relax.
InuYasha, もっと力を抜いて.
And then Kururugi calls out, what? That is not at all what? What? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did I do a wrong? Okay. No, the translation is just wrong. So the Google Translate result has InuYasha push harder, which is very much not what I picked. The DL translator is Kururugi saying InuYasha, relax more. While the English version, Kururugi calls out InuYasha, drum softer. In the English version, Densuke says, the winner is, while according to the translation, he says, so, the winner is... And from the translation... What? Why is this translating as jump in and win? What? The English version is our last minute contestants. I think the translation should be the jump in team, which is like the team that got pulled in. I think? Give me one sec. Sorry about that, just had to grab dinner. Yeah, I have no idea what this is actually supposed to either translate to or mean. Because if jumping and win is the actual translation to this, I don't know the cultural meaning to this, unfortunately. So, just as far as my own understanding goes, the last minute contestant is what I'd go with.
太鼓だぜ。
Let's see. From InuYasha, translation is... Okay. No, both translations are coming out weird. In the English version, InuYasha says, "Did you see that? Now that's how it's done." What the hell? From the Google Translate results, it's saying, "What kind of thing is that? This is a real drum." The DeepL translator is slightly better with, "What's it like? This is real drumming," which the real drumming is probably the only part that I think is accurate. I think the translation should be something like, "Just like that. This is real drumming." I don't know. But next up, we've got Kagome.
それでは続いての勝負いざ開始。
Here, the translation is... Now, on to the next match. Let it begin! In the English version, he says, "Now for the next match. Okay? Drum!"
カゴメさんは力が弱くて音も小さくなっちゃってる。この場合は
From here, the translation is... Kagome's strength is weak, and the sound is quiet. In this case... While in the English version, Kururugi says, "Kagome doesn't have enough strength, and the beat is too soft, so..." Okay. I do have I do have a bit of an issue with the translated result. With the Kagome's strength is weak, which just seems kind of redundant. I think the translation here should be, "Kagome isn't strong enough, and the sound is too quiet." In this case. And then... in the English version, your options are put your back into it, put your heart into it, or put your wit into it. Let's see what the translations are. The first one, which is the correct one, translates as, "The drum is on your hips." What? That's not right. I think it's supposed to be like drum with your hips. What? Okay. Like, if it's supposed to be drum with your hips, I think the implication is supposed to be, like, swing, like, make sure to swing your hips with each swing. The second one is the drum is the heart. And the last one is the drum is the head. I think the translations are supposed to be drum with your hips, drum with your heart, and drum with your head. So basically, let your hips guide you, your heart guide you, your head guide you. Very much the hips.
Kagome-san, 太鼓は腰だよ。
Like, just fucking swing. Let the swing of your hips carry you. So the winner is
飛び入りの勝ち。
This is gonna say jump in and win again, isn't it? Yeah, okay. But it's the last minute contestants. She sounds so excited. Even in the English version, it's like the most excited you will ever hear Kagome in this game. In the English version, she cheers, "Yeah, I can't believe it!" According to the translation, she goes, "Kya! It seems like a lie!" Which I'm pretty sure can be reworded to, "I can't believe it." So it's fine either way. Next up, following the order.
続いて3人目。勝負開始。
We've got the third person, so I don't need to... can I? Yeah, okay. The English version, Densuke says, "Now for the third match. Start!" And the translation is, "Then the third person. The match begins." You tiny boy.
尻尾小さいからうまく太鼓が叩けないんだ。とすれば、
From the translation, Kururugi says, "Shippo's small and can't play the drums well. So..." Well, the English version, Kururugi's inner thoughts are, "Shippo is small, so he can't play the drum very well. So..." In the English version, the options are drum harder, have fun with it, or be more lively. The translations are spirit. Okay. Spirit instead of drum harder. Interesting. Have fun. Or jump. Alright. Basically, I mean, like, the issue is he's too small. So, Shippo, fucking jump!
尻尾跳ねて。
In the English version, Kururugi cheers with, "Shippo, be more lively." But here, he cheers with, "Shippo, jump!"
それでは勝敗は
winner is
飛び入りの勝ち。
the last minute contestant.
そんなもんじゃ。ほら勝ったぞ。
And the translation here is... oh, come on. In the English version, Shippo's cheer is, "See, I won!" Okay, no. So the translated result is, what kind of thing is that? Hey, I won. I think the translation should be, did you see that? Hey, I won! In which case, going back to InuYasha's... InuYasha should have been... okay, it wasn't the exact same, but it is pretty close. So InuYasha should have been something like... Did you see that? This is real drumming. I don't know, I just kind of wanted to go back to that. Next up.
続いて4人目の勝負開始。
From Roku, next up is the fourth bout. Begin. Well, in the English version, they say, now for the fourth match. Start.
Miroku様、音が単調で薄い感じ。どうしたら味が出るかな。
Let's see. The translation here for Kururugi is... Miroku-sama, sound is monotonous and thin. How can I get the flavor out? In the English version, Kururugi said, Miroku sounds flat and frail. How can he add some flavor to his beat? In the English version, the results are play with it, drum softer, or drum harder. Let's see, while here, the options translates to more fun, be more gentle, or more intense. So the Japanese version is definitely a bit more clear with what the answers are supposed to be, because with InuYasha, he was going too fast, so relax. For Kagome, she didn't have the strength, so she had to swing her hips to add some more power to it. Shippo was too short, so jump to reach it. Miroku's too soft? Go harder. Or be more intense. The English version isn't as obvious. Shippo, I mean, the English version is a little weirder because for InuYasha's, they're definitely more clear because InuYasha's drumming too hard, so he needs to drum softer. Kagome doesn't have the strength, so she needs to put her back into it. Miroku's too frail, so drum harder. But Shippo's answer was... what the hell was his answer again? Yeah, Shippo's answer in the English version was to be more lively. The Japanese answer was for him to jump. So, In some places, the English version is easier at pointing out what the answer should be. In others, the Japanese version is.
それでは勝敗は
Winner is
飛び入りの勝ち。
last minute contestant.
どうやら決まったようですな。
And then from Moroku, the translation is... Apparently, it seems to have been decided. In the English version, Moroku instead says, well, of course, I knew I would. Moroku, in the English version, being a bit more overconfident. And then...
いよいよ最後の勝負。いざ開始。
From Songo, or for Songo's turn, Densuke, according to the translation, says the final match is finally here. Let it begin. In the English version, he says, now for our last match. Drum.
サンゴさん、上手だけどあと一押し何かあれば。
In the English version, Kururugi says Songo is good, but she can do better. While, according to the translation, Kururugi says, Songo-san is good at it, but if you could just give it a little extra push. In the English version, the choices are, move your body, be happy, or get mad. According to the translation, the choices are, let's move, let's laugh, or let's get angry. And the correct choice is for Songo to move her body, or as the translation had it, let's move.
サンゴさん、動いていこう。
Let's see, and the translation here from Kururugi is, Songo-san, let's get moving! In the English version, Songo, move your body.
それでは勝敗は
Winner is
飛び入りの勝ち。
last minute contestant.
いい汗かいたね。
And the translation for Songo here is, phew, I worked up a good sweat. Well, in the English version, she just says, that was a good sweat.
それぞれの組の5人が叩き終わりました。結果は飛び入りの勝利です。
And then from Densuke, translation here is, okay. According to the translation, Densuke is saying the 5 members of each group have finished hitting. The result is a jumpstart victory. Let's see if we can change that up a little bit. Kind of. It ends with the result was a jump-in victory. I mean, yeah, that is definitely essentially calling them the jump-in team, the ones who came in at the last second. In the English version, he says all 5 contestants from each team have competed. The winning team is our last-minute team. And then that's just InuYasha cheering. In the English version, he lets out a yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much what that is here.
あなたの応援のおかげですね。
From Moroku, translation is, it's all thanks to your support. While in the English version, he says, it's because of your cheering. Like, this is pretty much, this event pretty much just shows what the team dynamic is like. Kururugi is the support who spots the weaknesses in the team and makes them stronger. Kururugi covers for them. Again, Kururugi's name pretty much gives it away. Whether it's Michiru or Kagome, with the spelling that they use for the name the character screen when you start. At least from what I've been told, a resulted meaning of the full name is to fill a space in a closed-off world. So Kururugi's role is to fill the space that they need, which is their support.
そうじゃ。応援がなかったら危なかったぞ。
Because, let's face it, they never really had someone in a more support role in the series before. From Shippo, the translation is, well then, without your support, it would have been dangerous. What? That doesn't sound right. According to the Deep L translation, Shippo's saying, yes, if it weren't for the backup, we would have been in danger. Change danger and dangerous to we would have been in trouble, or it would have been troublesome. But yeah, like, they couldn't have done this without Kururugi because of the way they are. Like, they needed... This is probably going to sound bad, but they needed correcting.
そんなことないよ。みんなの太鼓が上手かったからだよ。
Kururugi's reaction here in Japanese is better. According to the translation, Kururugi's response is, oh no, that's not true. It's because everyone's drumming was so good. In the English version, Kururugi... Right, I forgot to compare it to Shippo's English version. Alright, Shippo. Translation. Without your support, we would have been in trouble. The English version went with, yes, if you hadn't been here, we wouldn't have been able to do it. Kururugi translation again was, oh no, that's not true. It's because everyone's drumming was so good. In the English version, Kururugi says, no, it was because you all played the drums so well. Again, Kururugi's modesty, like, I didn't do anything.
勝利した飛び入りの皆さんには村から商品を差し上げます。
Like, I didn't do anything. You guys were already good. From Densuke, the translation is, anyone who joins in and wins will receive a prize from the village. In the English version, he says, we have prizes from the village for all the winners. And this should be the lacquered seed. According to the translation... Yep, the lacquer seed. Good. I just need to... There we go. That's all good to go. In the English version, Shibbo asks, "What is it? What is it?" I get the feeling this won't be too different. Yeah, it comes out as, "What is it?" but the Shibbo does repeat it, so, "What is it? What is it?"
やったねみんな。
From Songo, translation is, "We did it, everyone!" While in the English version, she says the same thing.
勝ったのも嬉しいけど、みんなで遊べたのが嬉しかったな。
From Kururugi, the translation is, "I'm happy that we won, but I'm also happy that we all got to play together." In the English version, Kururugi says, "I'm glad we won, but most of all, I'm glad we got to have fun together."
そうね。こんなに楽しかったのは久しぶりね。
From Kagome, the translation is, "Yes, it's been a long time since I've had this much fun." In the English version, she says, "It's been a while since we've had this much fun." Or since we've had so much fun. I mean, I could take either the English version or the translated result that it gave me, because it's been a while since we've had so much fun. It would be Kagome talking about everyone as a group. But the Google Translate result could also be Kagome just talking about herself. Like, it's been a while since she's had so much fun. Because ever since she first came to the feudal era, like, things have been absolutely fucking hectic for her. And that's putting it mildly. So, Kagome getting the chance to relax and enjoy herself like this, like, it would make sense then if she said it's been a long time since she's had fun. Or since she's had this much fun. But more than likely it is supposed to be since we've had fun.
ああ、たまにはこういうのも悪くねえな。
Let's see, from InuYasha. Translation is, "Yeah, this kind of thing isn't bad once in a while." In the English version, he says, "It's good to do this every once in a while."
ああ、楽しかった。みんなの笑顔、忘れられない思い出になりそうだ。
Interesting. I didn't think this was inner thought dialogue from the English version. But, according to the translation, Kururugi's inner thoughts are, "Ah, that was fun. Everyone smiles. It's gonna be an unforgettable memory." In the English version, Kururugi's apparent inner thoughts are, "That was fun. I won't forget everyone smiles." And that does it. Before we leave, though, I do want to check on that landslide. See what's going on there. And he's still a-working. Hey, buddy. Let's see. According to the translation, he says, "Because the roads are like this, not many people came to the village for the festival this year. It was so lonely." In the English version, he says, "Because the road is like this, not many people could come to this year's festival. It was very quiet." And then concludes it with, according to the translation, let's do our best and have it ready in time for next year's village festival. While in the English version, he says, I need to work hard so that it's ready by next year's festival. So, yeah, like, even he says it's been the festival, so it's definitely been at least a month since we first talked to him, and he said, like, it'll be a month before it gets cleared. And judging by, what's left of the rest of the map, and how many times we likely have to go through Kaede's village some more, it's probably good, like, story-wise, it'll probably take about another month or two in story before things are concluded. But instead of going to the next story, since there's only like 10 minutes left for me, we're gonna spend some time grinding out some fights against really weak-ass enemies. Because then I can start next stream with getting the Mystery Field event.
InuYasha様
Yeah, change in fortune.
なんだとまさに極楽
Heaven on earth. Cut. And since they're incredibly weak, they won't take too much time.
倒すわよ絶対
しゃあくらえ奇人結晶もらった俺たちとやり合うなんて10年
出よったな。
大丈夫
Alright. Good time to show off the Furious Wind Tunnel then.
行きますよ風な
Or True Wind Tunnel as the translation is. Yeah, it's just Wind Tunnel, but everything. Like, that's really it. Yeah, yeah.
まだ敵は気づいていないようですな
オラか。我慢するぞ。はい。
Because why not? Burn that energy.
やってみる。上手して。 やった 私たちを甘く見ないでよ。
お前たち覚悟しな。
はい。頼む式神。やったぞ。
しゃあ貴様らてやれもらった。こんな奴ら束に。
Just a few more.
あいつらまだ気づいてねえみてえだな。
はい。燃え盛る炎よ、裁きの灯火を照らせ。やったぞ。まあこんな感じだろう。
お前たち覚悟しな。
しゃあ往生しやがれ非人ゲスト。もらった。こんな奴ら束になって。
また無駄な争いを。
よーし、頼む式神。やったぞ。
なんじゃ。
来い。やる気か。よし。
やる気ですか。とりゃよし。成敗いたしましたな。
返り討ちにしてやる。はい。 式神よ、行け。やったぞ。
よし。往生しやがれ。鬼神結晶。口を。
お前たち覚悟しな。
お願い、当たって。それ、やった。
はい。頼む、式神。やったぞ。よし、この。
Alright, and that should be the 30th fight. Since we planted the purple seed.
倒すわよ、絶対。
Not a good first start. You can just absolutely blast them apart.
行くぞ。楽勝じゃったな。
And that is gonna do it. We got through the rest of the castle and took part in a nifty little festival. Next time, well, we'll stop by Kainji's village to check in on that mystery field event. And then make our way to Ayame village and see if we can find Naraku. Till then, this has been the Azure Guardian. See ya.